Thank you, Matt. Hi, everyone. My name is Aaron Boltman. I'm the Director of Product for Nintex, responsible for a few products: Nintex RPA, Nintex RPA Central, and our brand new product, Nintex Gateway, which we'll be talking about today. So I've been with Nintex for about a year. I was part of an acquisition that occurred in March 2019, but I've been in the RPA space prior to being part of the Nintex team for about 16 years. I was brought in as the director of product for Nintex to manage the RPA capabilities, but also to join this RPA technology with our Nintex Workflow Cloud product. So we went to the drawing board, we talked to lots of customers, and we designed up a new product called Nintex Gateway. This gateway allows your workflows running in the cloud to access on-premises resources such as Nintex RPA Central. But we didn't stop there. Our goal is to allow you to connect your workflows in the cloud to a variety of things that are running on premises behind your firewall. The very first thing we're letting you tap into is Nintex RPA Central. So we're going to walk you through an example of using Nintex Gateway and harnessing the power of workflows and RPA in kind of a unified automation project in this demonstration. Here we have a workflow built in Nintex Workflow Cloud. It's a simple form that allows a user to enter in a work order number and their email address. That work order number will be sent down through the secure gateway to our on-premises implementation of RPA Central, where an RPA bot can go look up that work order in an on-premises business application. In this case, it's an AS400 terminal emulator screen. It goes in, it gathers all the information about the work order, and all that data is passed back up through the gateway up here to our workflow, where it'll be packaged up into a nice email and sent to the person who completed the form. The second step of our workflow is a start an RPA job action. This is a new action found in Nintex Workflow Cloud. If you scroll down, you'll see it under Nintex RPA. This is what utilizes the gateway. Before we can use a start an RPA job action, we need to set up our connection. And there's two ways to do that. We can either do that directly in the configuration of the action, very similar to other actions in NWC. An alternative is we could go over to our connections view and set up our connection here. So when you add a new connection, you'll see that there's a new option in the drop-down list for Nintex RPA. I have a gateway installed already, so it's not prompting me to download and set that up. But if it's the first time you're using this connection, you'll see something like this. It'll prompt you to download and set up the gateway. You do need to be an administrator in Nintex Workflow Cloud in order to be able to perform this step. If you're not an administrator, it will not offer the download link, and it'll advise you to go talk to your administrator. Once the gateway is installed, it'll open up a configuration app. It'll look like this. You can put in your NWC tenant name. It'll validate that address. Then you can click Start Gateway. It'll prompt you to log into your Nintex Workflow Cloud tenant. Once everything authenticates, you'll see that the gateway is now connected. You can close the configuration app knowing that the Nintex Gateway service is running on this machine. Now that the gateway is installed and up and running, we can come back and continue creating our connection. We put in a friendly name for our connection, put in the URL to our Nintex RPA Central, enter in our credentials, and then we can now see the gateway in the list here. Now we've got a few gateways set up. You only need one gateway for your company. You can't have more than one if you want to kind of partition out your traffic, but this is all you need to do. You hit connect and it'll create the connection. So this is creating a connection from your Nintex Workflow Cloud account to your on-premises implementation of Nintex RPA Central. So once that connection is complete, it'll ask you to set the connection permissions. And now we have a connection we can work with. Great, let's return back to the workflow. And we'll take a look at that Start an RPA job step. So if we click this step, we can see now how it's using a connection. So we can configure this to use our new connection we just created. We now select one of the published RPA jobs that we've created in our Nintex RPA Central. And once we select that, it'll pull in anything that's required. So here the bot is saying, I need a work order number to go look up. So we can go insert that from our form, our work order number. And then we can choose how we receive the results back. So here I'm using an object variable, and it lists all the different pieces that the bots return. So these are all the data points that are gathered out of that business system and returning it back to the workflow. Okay, let's see how this works in action. Here's my form for my workflow. I'm going to enter in the work order number I want the bots to look up. I'm going to kick off our workflow, and that's now started the workflow in the cloud. Once that's complete, the workflow will transmit that work order number through our secure gateway onto our on-premises implementation of RPA Central. That RPA Central will then dispatch work out to a bot so that it can go perform that work just like a person would. Here our bot is starting up. It's receiving the published bot flow instructions from RPA Central, and it's getting to work. So here it's launching the business system. In this case, it's that AS400 application. It's going to go ahead and log in just like a human would, navigate out and find the work order number, 140. It's going to gather all that information off of the screen, back out of that application very quickly, closing it, and then transmitting all that data back up to our workflow. A few seconds later, the workflow will send the email out, and here it is, work order number 140, along with all the information retrieved out of the business system. You see, this is a really nice example of how you can connect your workflows in the cloud with your RPA bots on premises using our brand new secure gateway. We have an automation partner that is a heavy user of Nintex Workflow Cloud. They create approval processes for their customers, and one example they gave us is that they transmit Excel documents through a workflow to a human worker that reviews that document for keywords. If there's specific keywords found on that account, they go into the customer account in a custom web-based system. They go in and modify some settings on that account and hit save. So they found that there was an error rate of about 20 to 30% of humans doing this process, either because they maybe missed the keywords in the document or they would pull up the incorrect customer account and apply those changes. So now in your workflows, rather than using an assign a task step, you could reevaluate and say, hey, could I send this work through my secure gateway to a bot that's working on premises that can interact with those same business systems? That opens a whole world of new possibilities. So hopefully you've enjoyed this demonstration today. Matt, thank you for giving me some time to share with the group. I'm going to turn screen sharing back over to you.